In 2018, I launched my business Confidence by Design with the goal of working with schools. I wanted to teach kids how to be more confident. So I sent about 100 emails out to different schools around Scotland, and one school got back to me. I met with them and they agreed to let me do a 3-hour workshop with their high school kids. So in preparation, I did lots of practice, I had lots of different techniques that I wanted to share with them, I had a few different stories in my workshop, and I was hitting it every single day. And then eventually, the big day came. And I remember walking into the school hall. The pupils hadn't arrived yet, it was just empty chairs in front of me. I had a little pull-down projector for my PowerPoint, and I remember thinking to myself, this is it, Kyle. This is the beginning of you becoming the greatest school speaker of all time. And then the kids start coming in and I'm standing there at the front like this. And you can just feel the skepticism coming from them. Anyway, I get into my presentation and I start telling them that they should do this to improve their confidence. They should do that. They should consider meditation. They should consider mindfulness. They should consider X, Y, Z, and the next thing which is hot and trendy at the time. And as I'm speaking, I'm noticing more and more of them are looking at their phones. They're talking with each other. Or they're just looking at me like this. And I'm only 7 minutes in. So for the next 3 hours, I am battling to get their attention back. I'm doing everything I know as a speaker at that time that will help to get their attention, but none of it is working. And I'm getting more stressed out. I'm seeing the teachers in the back looking like this, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I should quit. Eventually, the presentation ends, but things get worse. Because the teacher comes over to speak to me at the end. And she says this. That was your first time, wasn't it? Brutal. But what was even more brutal was that the school didn't pay me until 6 months later. I guess they really didn't like my presentation. I share this with you because I want you to avoid making the same mistakes I made. Because there were 2 key lessons which I learned from that presentation, which I've carried through to every other presentation I have delivered since. The first lesson being, don't speak on it unless you're an expert on it. For that presentation, I was 22 years old, and yes, I was confident, but I wasn't an expert on confidence. I didn't know how to deconstruct confidence and teach it to other people. I wasn't at that stage of competence with my own confidence. And therefore, I just regurgitated a bunch of things that other people have said about confidence because I didn't truly know from my own perspective how to teach it. After that presentation, I actually stopped delivering presentations on confidence and started teaching public speaking instead, because public speaking was something which I did know how to deconstruct and teach. It was something which I was an expert in. Now don't get me wrong, it's fine to talk about subjects in presentations, but if you're going to teach a subject, you've got to know your stuff. Otherwise, you're cheating the audience and you're cheating yourself. The second lesson I learned is that the audience are not there to listen. Like many people, back then I believed that as a speaker, you do the talking in the presentation and the audience does the listening. But this is not true. The best presentations I've seen actually involve the audience talking or the audience communicating in some way back to the speaker. Because when people are sharing ideas and getting involved, not only are they learning more, but they now feel like the presentation is theirs. They are part of it. They're not just a bystander watching it. No, they are in the presentation. And so what I've learned from that experience and many others since is that our job as speakers is actually to encourage the audience to speak, to invite them into our presentation, to make it a two-way conversation. And that's why the kids didn't pay attention to me. Because I just talked at them for 3 hours instead of involving them in the presentation. Now, if you want some more tips on how to make your presentation interactive, here's a useful video to check out. I'll see you in the next one.